I've got this one. Ghostsecs ground war on Israeli satellites. That sounds really bad when I separate ghost and sex. Ghostsecs. Ghostsecs? Maybe that's on purpose. In any case, ghostsecs. Okay. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because it's actually kind of interesting what's going on here. So, believe it or not, what you have is you have a terminal that reaches into that communicates and controls satellites out in space. Duh, but the terminal has to be on the ground. There's a human who has to actually input. You can see the hang on, let me go here. You can see some of the output of the terminal after it's been hacked, mind you, but you can see that there's some. Here it is, right? The satellite network, etc., etc. Now, these terminals are suffering from the same thing that publicly accessible S3 data, for example, like the counter below that we keep covering, they are suffering from the same thing that these things are suffering from, which is that they have public facing IP addresses and default configurations that make it really, really easy for a hacking operation like ghostsecs to find them and hop in. And since they find these and they hop in, they then have access to the satellites up in space. So they don't need to actually hack the satellites. What they have to hack is the terminals on the ground. And once they hack the terminals on the ground, you can see that they get all kinds of information. Let me zoom in on that. Type of device, vendor, manufacturer, interface name, network topology, physical location, uplink, downlink, GPS coordinates, etc. And at that point, they can do all kinds of stuff with the satellite. So this is what's happening as part of the unfortunate outcomes of what's going on between Israel and Iran. And these guys are making use of defaults and, publicly accessible ground terminals for satellite usage. Now, if I remember correctly, they actually, here we go. We have hacked over 40 Aegis 2 water devices, defacing some of them. They've hacked some industrial and other like Internet of Things systems on, whatever kind of systems, like hardware systems, 500 plus websites on top of that. And let me see, I think up here they talked about how many terminals they got into. Maybe not. Does it say? I don't think it says. Nah, it doesn't say. But this is essentially what they consider to be a psychological campaign against Israel, like, ha ha ha, we gotcha, kind of a thing. So the reason why I bring this up is, one, first of all, it's crazy that these ground-based terminals that that control satellites are this easily hacked. How about this? They're this easily accessible, publicly accessible. That's crazy to me. And second of all, that if you think that groups like ghostsecs or nation-state actors, even, not confirmed that these are nation-state actors, but if you don't think like countries like America and whatever are doing these kinds of things to other countries, I have a bridge to sell you. Of course they're doing. And this is how easy it is, which is again why I say that we have to get our act together in the tech industry, because what we've done is we've created an entire ecosystem where not only do we have people who don't know how to write quality code, performant code, efficient code, everything's slow, everything crashes, etc., etc., which is, by the way, a way for hackers to get into systems. Yeah, non-performant code can be an attack vector. It's non-efficient code can be an attack vector. Not scalable code can be an attack vector. And obviously non-secure code can be an attack vector. But we have critical military systems like this that are very easily hacked. I've covered this time and time again on these daily tech news streams. So we got to pull up the sleeve, so to speak,